not open the door for cops.
Oh, but I thought you were supposed to do that. Well, maybe today we'll find out why we're not supposed to do that in this video. This video is from Lackluster and it's titled, I Don't Open the Door for Cops. And I'm gonna be reacting to this video and analyzing it just for you. It's been a while since I've done a reaction video. Are you excited? I'm excited. Make sure you lawyer up, join this channel to receive more fun content, which might also be helpful if the cops come knocking. All right, enough talking. Let's get into the reaction.
You don't have a warrant for my arrest.
You're being a little confrontational for no reason right now.
He's definitely going to do
My lawyer will be happy to send it to you.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. On October 20th of 2022, a viewer named Ryan was sitting at home when his camera system caught two officers of the Apple Valley Police Department on his property looking through his windows. They eventually come to his front door and request that he comes outside. Note that the camera system records in small clips.
Hi, can you step outside real quick? We just have a couple of questions for you.
Ryan's exterior door is glass and the officers can see and hear him just fine. Most people in this situation will comply and go outside to answer questions. However, it is in your best interest and it is your right to both refuse to answer the door or answer the officer's inquiry. In most cases, they are only there to find ways to incriminate you through their interrogation. If they had an arrest warrant, a warrant to search your property, or exigent circumstances, they wouldn't bother to ask to speak with you and would force their way inside.
That's a really great point. So what you've seen here so far is that the police are just poking around. They want information, right? Now, if they come to your door and you haven't said that you have been the victim of a crime, then there's only two other reasons that they could be there. Number one, your neighbor or someone near you has reported a crime and they think that you might have evidence about it. Did you see anything? Do you know anything? Whatever. Did you hear a disturbance? But obviously the real reason, the most common reason, especially when they're acting like this, looking through the windows and being a little bit sus, is that they think that you may have committed a crime. Okay, fine, they're welcome to think that. But if they haven't told a judge that and they don't have a warrant to arrest you or to search your property, you owe them nothing. You don't owe them anything. It's actually really good advice to not come outside. Nothing good is gonna happen from you going outside. Now, if you start the interaction and you find out they actually are just trying to help a neighbor, they wanna know if you have security footage that would have shown what time a car went by or something like that, you're gonna figure that out after the interaction starts, and then maybe then you come outside. But starting inside, yes, they can't come inside your home. So well done so far.
If they must speak with you, you still have a right to have an attorney present, even if you are not detained or under arrest. These officers tell Ryan that someone called and alleged that he had pointed a weapon at someone.
I was concerned about some of your actions earlier today. Yeah. And so we just want to get your side of the story, see what's going on.
Who's that?
I don't have a name. I would prefer if you stepped outside.
Yeah, so he is completely controlling this encounter right now. Police officers, they're not magicians. They don't have like special powers or anything. They have protocols that they want to use. They want to get you in the positions with them conversationally where they can funnel you towards an answer or towards a higher probability that you give them the answer that they want. So withholding the name, which obviously she has the name of whoever supposedly said this, not giving him early access to what they're talking about is a way of getting him to commit himself to a position before he knows anything about what the allegations are. So it's like classic interrogation, but it's really, really hard to do that through a doorway. I mean, keep in mind, he can just walk away from the door. Like, they can't control him. He's not out in the public. They don't have a claim on him over whether the conversation even keeps on happening. So the cop would prefer it if he stepped outside, but they can't order him to come outside. They don't have a lawful basis to order him to come outside.
Danny, 4941.
Officer Spayholt, 4943.
Because you pointed a gun at someone, so step outside. What? Step outside right now, Ryan.
Okay, now they're trying to tell him what to do. They went from would you step outside to you must step outside. Now, Ryan, clearly, he knows his rights, or at least he knows some of them. I haven't seen this video. I swear I haven't seen it, although I have a feeling I know which way it's gonna go. But he knows he doesn't have to go out there, so, or at least not yet. You do have to obey the lawful commands of a police officer, right? Is it a lawful command to tell someone to come outside to answer questions?
No, but we'd like to talk to you about it. Tell us more about that? So you could give us your side of the story.
I just told you that
All right, well, you're being a little confrontational for no reason right now.
Okay, they came to him to say, we're giving you the opportunity to prove your innocence. Okay, now, if you just think back to the Fifth Amendment and the right against self-incrimination, and who has the burden of proof in any investigation and any trial, it's the government. He doesn't have to prove anything. Nothing at all. I love it that he has finally told them that he has a camera on the house. Now, if these cops are thinking about the situation clearly when they get there, I mean, you can look, he's got a Ring or some other sort of brand name security device. They're gonna know that it has a camera. But he's just reminding them that he's recording, which I think is a smart thing for him to do.
We just wanted to talk to you. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said because you interrupted me.
The clip ends again. Ryan goes to grab his phone.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to death on it, though.
Yeah. I mean,
There's no...
do like as much as I can.
Well, he can't have a... He can't have... Or it's the matter for...
We still don't have enough to say.
Oh, no, I know that.
I'm gonna charge something.
As if the statement, "you can prove your innocence," wasn't enough of a sign that these officers have a backwards understanding of the law. The officers have now admitted that they have no evidence that Ryan committed the crime he is accused of, but still conspire to charge him with something.
That is not a true statement. They do have some evidence that he's committed a crime. If someone says he pointed a gun at me, that is some evidence. It actually is. Now, is it gonna win at trial? No. Is it enough to even get a prosecutor to draw up an indictment or charges? Probably not. It better not be. But this idea that I'm gonna charge him with something, wow! I mean, first of all, they said, you gotta prove your innocence. False. False. Not in the United States. And then I'm gonna charge him with something? What on earth? This is what a lot of people think is going on behind the scenes with cops.
This is exactly why you should always film and limit your interactions with law enforcement as often as possible. I personally have no idea if Ryan brandished a weapon, but I also have no evidence that he did. His neighbor's claim is nothing more than hearsay, and these officers don't even know the alleged victim's name, but they...
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt him there and say, no, it's not hearsay. It's hearsay when the cop says he pointed a gun, but it's not hearsay when the neighbor says that guy pointed a gun at me. It is one person's verbal testimony. It is evidence. It's weak evidence. It's not hearsay. Hearsay, as you likely know, is a statement made out of court and offered for the proof of the matter asserted in the statement. So, if someone comes to court and says,
Ryan pointed a gun at me,
they're not saying something that someone else said. If the cop comes to court and says, the neighbor said Ryan pointed a gun at me, right before the word Ryan comes out, the defense attorney is gonna jump up and say,
objection, hearsay.
and it's gonna be sustained. The officer can't tell what anyone said to them in the course of their investigation, with some exceptions, but generally not. And definitely not just to say, someone called me to report this and this is what their report was. They can't do that. They gotta get the witness there.
They were all too ready to arrest Ryan, with nothing more than an accusation made through a phone call. Ryan also records the interaction on his cell phone.
So what was the name and badge number, please?
Again?
Yes, ma'am. Danny, what was the badge number?
41.
Ma'am? Okay, what was the purpose of the visit here tonight?
Because you pointed a gun at someone, so step outside.
When did I point a gun at someone?
What? Step outside right now, Ryan.
You don't have a warrant for my arrest. I have not committed any crime.
Or else there will be a warrant for your arrest for a dangerous weapon and pointing it into you.
Okay, so this is a pretty manipulative statement from the police officer here. She is saying, come outside right now. We want to violate your Fifth Amendment rights, AKA we want to take a statement from you without Mirandizing you, because they haven't Mirandized him yet, but they've already told him that they're going to ask him questions about this. They're saying,
we want to violate your rights, and if you don't come out and do this, we're going to get an arrest warrant for you.
huh? Who does that? That is not legal police work. It's not at all. Gee whiz.
What?
An innocent person. Ryan.
Okay, this is unfounded. If you guys can come back with a warrant, that would be beautiful. Thank you. Yes.
You're just going to have to go with the information that we have from the other people.
What information is that?
That you pointed a gun at them.
Okay, well, I'm telling you it's not true.
Okay. Do you want to come outside and tell us more about that?
For what would the purpose of that be?
To give us your side of the story.
I just told you that when and where, what did this occur?
Being a little confrontational for no reason.
I have cameras on the house, so I have alibis. Can you tell me when and where this occurred?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I have cameras on the house, so I have alibis to all this. So can you tell me when and where this occurred, please?
What are your alibis? What are you doing today?
Well, I mowed the lawn, and I've been here most of the day.
Okay, so yeah, you've been here all day.
Okay.
That's not a good alibi.
I have video
Of where? Of what?
of me with the dog
Okay, what's wrong?
all day.
Okay, you want to show us that video?
I mean, my lawyer will be happy to send it to you if you have a warrant for it.
Because right now you're
Well, you don't have a warrant for my arrest, so I think I'm just gonna shut the door.
Well, that was fairly well done by Ryan. I mean, he clearly knows his rights, and it was clearly not done well by the cops. They wanted something that they didn't have a legal right to, and he wouldn't give them to them. First of all, they wanted to get him in a situation where it was easier to manipulate him and easier to end up with him in handcuffs. If he's outside with them physically and he's in any way confrontational, there's nothing physically stopping them from arresting him. They can say, even if it's not true, they can say,
We're gonna put you in handcuffs and take you to the station because of the way you were treating us. You were confrontational, you were rude, you were resisting detention, resisting arrest, whatever.
they can say that. But being inside the house is a game changer because they can't say he was rude to us, so we went into his house to arrest him. They can't go in his house for that. It's a very significant advantage if they come to you at your house. Now, I was thinking about, well, what happens if they come to his place of work? He doesn't have that same protection. If they say, we're coming inside to interview you, like he may sit there with his lips zipped and say nothing, but he can't make them leave unless he's the owner of the space. If he's an employee somewhere and they come there, they have to answer his questions. Now, obviously, his boss is gonna say, take it outside. I don't want you in here with being interviewed by cops. So this advantage, it's not that it's just a building, it's that it's his home or anyone else's home. They can't come inside anyone's home to do this sort of conversation that they're trying to have with him. On top of that, they clearly believe that if they get an interview with him, they'll get some evidence that will allow them to get where they want to go, which is an arrest warrant, because they don't have that right now. And clearly, I mean, he keeps saying, you don't have a warrant, you don't have a warrant. Of course they don't have a warrant. It supposedly happened just a few hours ago. They have not done the type of real investigation that would allow them to even get a warrant. I'm assuming that they know the name of the caller. I'm assuming that they know what time it happened. I'm assuming that they know other facts and circumstances around it, and they're not sharing those with him, which they don't have to because, again, he doesn't have to talk. But if they were gonna get a warrant, those very specific things, they would have to tell that to a judge under oath, that this is the evidence that we got. And they don't have it. As a final thought, I want to say guilty or innocent, don't come out of your house. Literally nothing good can come of it. If they have evidence that they can arrest you on, they will arrest you. If you come out of your house, you may end up arrested without evidence because they're gonna make some allegation that you were confrontational, that you were difficult, that you resisted in some way. So just stay inside every time. I know when you haven't done anything wrong, the natural gut reaction is you want to defend yourself. Don't. Even Ryan, who clearly knows his rights, clearly knows that it's better to stay inside, he starts talking about his alibi. Well, his alibi is ridiculous because being at home is the opposite of an alibi. Saying I was with my dog, well, woof, woof. I mean, the dog can't testify in court and substantiate that. So he says he's got some videos with his dog. Well, that's ridiculous. Unless he was live streaming his doggy play day, then without knowing what time this event with the gun supposedly happened, it's ridiculous to say I've got video footage of me with my dog. So I'm gonna give him an A. I'm not gonna give him an A+. I would have given him an A+ if he didn't start talking about his ridiculous, nonsensical alibi. But he gets an A because he didn't get himself arrested. The cops, wow. I gotta give him a C-. Nope, it's too high. I'm giving him a D+. I really do not like it that they gave him an illegal order. They told him, come outside. Not, would you please come outside? They started with that. Then they told him to come outside. That's not a lawful order. They cannot do that. They can ask him. They can't tell him. And then this conspiring to say, we don't have enough to charge him on the gun encounter, but we'll come up with something. I mean, this is like, this is playing into the narrative that so many people have, which is that a bunch of cops are dirty. They just want to make arrests. They just want to be in control. This maybe started out as an investigative interview, right? See him looking in the window, poking around, asking questions. In the end, like many encounters with law enforcement, it became about power and control. And they wanted to manipulate him and not get the right result, but get the result that they wanted from the encounter. And that's not okay. Well, kudos to Ryan. An A- for him and a D+ for the cops. That is something else. Now, I want to hear your pro se opinion. What did you think about this idea that they would conspire together and say, well, I'm going to charge him with something? Let me know in the comments down below. If you think Ryan deserves an A+ or something lower than an A, get down in the comments and let me know. If you disagree with my grade about the cops for a D+, I want to hear that too. Make sure you check out the original video and the channel that's on, Lackluster. That's all linked down below. Thanks for staying this long in the video. I'll see you real soon.